Dr. Nagalakshmi for the introduction. Warm welcome to all of you. Respected Professor Mahmood Sir, Vice Chairman, Telangana State Council, Professor G.B. Reddy Garu, Senior Professor, and also the Director for PGRRDC, Dean and Head Madam, Professor B. Vijayalakshmi, and of course, Dr. Nishit, Dr. Ratnakar, Pawan, Nagalakshmi, and the rest of the students who have come from the different law colleges. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation and becoming a part of this program. This day, especially the National Legal Services Day, is observed in our country on November 9th, right? Every year to commemorate the enactment of the Legal Services Act of 1987. And which is aimed, the Legal Services Act is aimed at promoting the legal awareness and providing the legal aid, especially to the backward and the marginalized sectors. And of course, to the special reason for this, for the first time, of course, Dr. Ratnakar initiated the idea, saying that no, this is important. We have to bring that awareness, especially to the law students, to make them understand the responsibility which they have towards the society, not only just taking a degree, but also to get them aware of the responsibility which they hold by holding the degree of law, to create and to spread the awareness of legal literacy, especially to the marginalized as well as the backward sections of the society. Of course, the elite, of course, has got the support of the legal fraternity because they can afford it, but especially every one of us has got a responsibility to share whatever the knowledge we have with the marginalized as well as the backward class sections. With that idea, of course, we thought of celebrating this day to bring in an awareness among everyone. So we called up Professor Mahmood Sir, and he readily agreed without a second thought. He readily agreed to be a part of this program, and we express our gratitude to Mahmood Sir. Thank you very much for accepting this and gracing the occasion, and it's a kind of an encouragement for all of us that he is here. That really gives us, a kind of an encouragement and support, which we are getting extended from the State Council also. And also, I would like to thank Professor G.B. Reddy Garu, who is always there. Whenever we request him for any kind of a lecture, in spite of he was, in fact, yesterday only he has come back to the city after his very long, confidential work where he was not in the city, but still he agreed in spite of all this strain. He readily agrees whenever we request him to deliver a lecture. He's always there to, spread and deliver the lecture to the students and share his knowledge with the students. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting and being here. And also, I would like to thank Madam Professor Vijayalakshmi, being there as a Dean and Head Department of Law, and also a very concrete support for us in any program which we try to conduct. Thank you very much, and I welcome every one of you, as well as Professor Mahmood Sir. Thank you so much for being a part of this. With these few words, I now request Professor B. Vijayalakshmi Garu to just speak a few words of the occasion.
Thank you, Radhika. Respected dignitaries on the dais, Mahmood Sir, G.B. Reddy Sir, and the other side, the students, the representatives of the private colleges. A very good morning to all of you. Yes, this is an occasion where we have to acknowledge that there is a law which is for the people who cannot afford the legal services. When we say that how many people do have the knowledge of going to the court of law and availing the facilities which are available to the common man as such means yes, a number of people do not have the awareness that where to go, how to go. Because what we feel is when we go to an advocate, it is a costly type of litigation process where it takes lengthy period of time and also a lot of money to be invested. It is not really investing. A lot of money is going to be spent on the litigation and also a lot of time and mental stress will be there when we go for a litigation as such. So as far as the legal aid is concerned, this is for the poor people who cannot afford to go for legal side as such or for filing the case as such under the criminal law. So this is the area where we are supposed to explore. The law students here, it is not that awareness is created among yourselves as such, but you have to carry forward and you have to see that a person who is in need of legal help, those people to be known that what are the areas where these provisions are being available under the law and how to avail this particular legal aid that has to be given by you people as the law students and we must carry forward. That is the reason why we celebrate this particular day as such, the Legal Services Authorities Day, which has been though enacted long back, 50 years back, but still we see that the process or the awareness is not there among the people who are really in need as such. Those who are well off, they are coming forward for filing the cases, but where the people who do not really do know and where they really deprived of their rights, they should be addressed by you people. The responsibility is upon you people and also we are also supposed to make aware the public as such. In cities, yes, a number of people might have the knowledge, but when you go to the rural places, we do not have that, those people do not have that much knowledge as such. So it is our responsibility, it is the combined responsibility of both the teachers as well as the students, especially the law students, to create awareness among the general public and see that every person is um, the person who is eligible or the person who is having the right for filing the cases as such. With these few words, I thank you for giving me this opportunity. I thank the principal and the organizers. Thank you, management.
Some reflections on this, on the importance of this day. Thank you.
Honorable Professor and Chairperson, Professor Radhika Yadav Madam, Director, PGRCD, Professor G.B. Reddy Sir, Senior Professor at this Law College, earlier my colleague, Professor Shalakshmi Madam, who was earlier former principal of this college, Professor Dr. Aparna Madam, faculty of this Law College. So at the outset, I forgot to mention our own students, the budding judges and media people of this prestigious college. So here is just like a homecoming for me. The campus is not new to me. Instead of going to botany department and coming to law college departments, they are all colleagues here. They are just like my botany students. So at the outset, I thank the organizing committee for inviting me to this August gathering. I am happy to be with you since everyone here belongs to the prestigious Osmania University. So we are proud Osmanians. So the college, law college, is a happening place in the OU campus. The law college not only producing lawyers, professors, scholars, and also advocates on record, and judges. Now, for all these, the present judiciary, judiciary is one of the pillars of democracy. So, for that pillar, it is the means the college and professors and students, which is the center for genesis for that judiciary, for the pillar of democracy. So, here I am just like a layman amidst the legal luminaries. I am from the professor of botany, Osmania University, the same campus. That is, my research field is bioinformatics and drug discovery. That is very much present right now in the open and distance learning institution. Why I am telling all this? Because your own Professor G.B. Reddy is heading the institution. That is Professor G. Ram Reddy Center for Distance Education. This is another happening place in the Osmania University. Most of the centers, seminars and conference halls are very busy. It's a dynamic mode always. So, from the pillar of judiciary, in the common man's perspective, like me, what we are expecting, so judiciary has to protect the constitutional rights, legal rights of the citizens, and it has to uphold the rule of law when other pillars not working at expected levels, say legislative and executive. Here the conference we are organizing here, say this is our legal services, spreading the message among the masses, the legal services, and also legal aid, that is we are raising awareness, the legal aid among the weaker sections of the society. In the present situation, when most of the democratic institutions, even autonomous institutions, being eroded by the ruling establishment, even if we take the IAC, India Against Corruption movement, Anna Hazare movement, that is the Jan Lokpal movement. What has happened that moment? Jan Lokpal and Lokayukta. There is one Pradeep Kumar Mohanty, the acting chairman of Jan Lokpal, and also another one is Praveen Kumar Srivastava, is the Commissioner Central Vigilance. Nobody knows these institutions, the persons are at working condition or not. And in the present situation, only what I feel, Lok Adalats, Lokayukta here and there, some states is working, but Jan Lokpal, I don't know whether perfectly functional or non-functional. So why I am telling all this is that most of the autonomous institutions, pillars of democracies are overridden, eroded. There is an immense danger to the institutions. So ultimately, rule of law should prevail. In the present situation, only Lok Adalat is working perfectly. That is the alternative dispute redressal system. If you take the prisoners under trials, according to the version of Minister of State, that is Ajay Kumar Mishra, winter parliamentary session, has declared that there are around more than 5,54,000 prisoners are lagging in the jails, in various jails. Out of 5,54,000, 4,27,000 prisoners are from marginalized sections. Out of these marginalized sections, 66% are mostly from Adivasis, Dalits, minorities, OBCs, and poor forward class people, that is the poverty ridden people. In such a scenario, if you see, take the Athras incident, a SC girl being raped and killed by higher-ups, and the body of the girl is cremated without the permission of her parents, family members. There is another incident. Siddiqui Kappan is a reporter who went on site. He was jailed under sedition law, under UAPA, and also his teeth was ransacked in the Madras jail. And if we take all these such incidents, come to the, why I am telling all this, you are the future hope of the judiciary. For professors and students, it's like in layman's terminology, what I can understand. Think about the electoral bonds legality, how far it is legal. And think about the Bhima Koregaon case. In Bhima Koregaon case, most of them are under trials. Most of them are civilians. They are fighting for the human rights and journalists. Our own Professor Varavar Rao, he is a professor and activist. Sudha Bharadwaj, she is an eminent advocate. Not only these people, Vernon Gonsalves, Anand Teldumbe, and even our own Professor Sai Baba from Delhi University. He declared that he is going to die as under trials. And if you see some more aspect, I am just mentioning here so that you can discuss along with your legal services seminar throughout the day. Think about Teesta Seetalwar. What happened to her case? Bilkis Banu case. That she was being raped, mass raped. Rapists are at large, free now. Think about Sanjeev Bhatt, police officer. What is his mistake? And not only this, there are also, even you might have heard the name of TV anchor Arnab Goswami. Once he arrested, within a day, Prime Minister's office worked round the clock to get him on bail. Why not in other cases? What is happening here? Not only this, if you go to even Bodupal, just very near to our OU campus, there are one Bhurabandhu fame of Bodupal. One person, in his language, if I would like to repeat here, అతను చేసే ఏంటంటే ఇక్కడ ఓపెన్ ల్యాండ్స్ ఉంటే ఆయన ఇమీడియట్గా ఒక లిటిగేషన్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాడు. అంటే 48 ఓపెన్ ల్యాండ్ ప్లాట్స్ ఉంటే వాళ్ళకు సెకండ్ వైఫ్ ఉందనో సెకండ్ ఫాదర్ ఉందనో ఏదో క్రియేట్ చేసి పార్టీ క్రియేట్ చేసి బ్యాక్ డేట్తో ల్యాండ్ మీద పోయి వాళ్ళని భయభ్రాంతులు చేసి వాళ్ళు ప్లాట్ కొంటాడు తక్కువ రేట్. అక్కడ 6 acres 15 years బ్యాక్ కబ్జా పెట్టేశాడు. అయితే అందులో ఆయన భయపడి కొందరు చాలా మంది ఈ ప్లాట్ 400 square భయపడి కొంతమంది అమ్మేసుకున్నాడు. జస్ట్ త్రో అవే ప్రైస్. అక్కడ 40,000 పర్ యార్డ్ ఉంటే 1,000 2,000 నువ్వు ఉన్నది 1,000 కాబట్టి 2,000 వెళ్ళిపో. అట్లా భయపడి కొందరు అమ్మేశారు. అలా 80 out of several plots, some 20 plots within a day purchase. అతను he wants his not the greed ఏంటంటే he wants all the plots, all the 6 acres. Initially claiming 3 acres, all the 6 acres. These people purchased 20 years back. Now he enters along someone who is the original owners. So he will create some relationship. సో ఈ 20 కాదు నాకు అన్ని వాళ్ళు అన్ని ప్లాట్లు కాబట్టి అందరూ అమ్మకుంటే ఏం చేస్తుంటే ఆ ల్యాండ్ను ఒక ఎక్స్కి అమ్మిస్తాడు. ఆ ఎక్స్ చనిపోతే ఆయన డాటర్ పేరుగా వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఆ డాటర్ అంటే ఇతని వైఫ్. ఇతను ఏమంటే తోటకూరి జంగయ్య యాదవ్, నౌ ఎమ్మెల్యే క్యాండిడేట్ ఫర్ మేడ్చల్ కాన్స్టిట్యున్సీ. అక్కడ ఆయన వర్షన్ ఏంటంటే మీరు నాతో తట్టుకోలేరు, అన్ని అమ్మేసి వెళ్ళిపోవాలి, నేను పోలీస్ ఆఫీసర్ని కొంటా, ఎంఆర్ఓని కొంటా, అవసరం వస్తే జడ్జిలను కొంటా, నేనుండి కాదు మీరు ఎంప్లాయీస్ నేను తెస్తే జరుగు అంటాడు. ఇంకో వర్షన్ ఏంటంటే మా సన్ దగ్గర గన్ ఉంటుంది మీరు తట్టుకోలేరు. ఇంకా మూడో వర్షన్ ఏంటంటే మీరు ఒకవేళ విన్ అయినా నేను మాత్రం వదలను, మీరు ఎంత ఏదో చోట మోట ఎంప్లాయీస్, మీరు విన్ అయినా నేను హైకోర్టు పోతా, అప్పీల్ పోతా, అక్కడ వినైనా సుప్రీంకోర్టు పోతా, మీరు ఎంతవరకు పోరాడతారు, ఇంత ఇస్తే జరుగు. దిస్ ఈస్ ద సిచ్యువేషన్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ ఇన్ ద సొసైటీ. పాపం అన్న ఒక బీసీ అతను చనిపోయాడు, ఒక రెడ్డి చిన్న కండక్టర్ ఆర్టీసీ కండక్టర్ రవీందర్ రెడ్డి మొన్న హార్ట్ అటాక్ వచ్చింది, సర్జరీ అయింది బికాస్ ఆఫ్ సిచ్యువేషన్. ఒక ప్రొఫెసర్ ఓపెన్ ప్రొఫెసర్ వైఫ్ హార్ట్ అటాక్ చనిపోయింది, ఒక మైనారిటీ చనిపోయాడు, ఒక బీసీ చనిపోయాడు. మరి రాహుల్ గాంధీ భారత్ జోడో యాత్ర వెరీ గుడ్, బట్ హియర్ దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ హ్యాపెనింగ్. In such scenario, what we are expecting, common man, judicial activism should prevail, judicial review should prevail, the rule of law should be there, and the science of law should prevail. In order to prevail all these things, there should be number of courts should increase, at least benches, Supreme Court benches in south, west, throughout the country it has to be increased. When benches are increasing, judges naturally number of judges should be increased. When judges are increasing, the requirement is the number of law colleges has to be increased in both qualitative and quantitative. Because ultimately it is the law college and professor and students who are just giving the bell of the tax. So now law college has got very good demand in the market. There are around, I think, there are around 23 colleges, 21 are there. 2 or 3 colleges are going to come up. Some are in the pipeline. And just now the same was discussing with our professors. One residential law college is going to come up soon at Kandaguru and Srisalam Highway. That Malaya Bhatt is taking initiative. So what I request my colleagues, so instead of going one day, you can proceed for 2 day or 3 day international conference, because such judicial activities are required. Even you can demand some partial grant from the State Council of Higher Education. We are there to see so that some justice should be done to the colleges. So with this Oh, what we want judges like D.Y. Chandrachud, Dr. D.Y. Chandrachud. We don't want judges like Ranjan Gogoi. You know what has happened in case of Ranjan Gogoi. We want advocates. You can follow the advocate Prashant Bhushan. There are several, but I am giving one instance. So this is encouraging to you people. Prashant Bhushan, he was the member of India against corruption. That is the Jan Lokpal movement, Anna Hazare movement. He is a very good advocate on record. He is a public lawyer. He is working hard against the evils of establishments. He is a common man's lawyer. So, with this, it is a feature for you. You have got very good professors team. We try to extract much from the professors community, and we can feel proud of yourself since you are the proud feature in future. You are the proud product of Osmania University. So with this, I thank one and all for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, was trying to reflect on the situations which are prevailing in the society, and he's trying to, because he spoke from the other side. As a non-law person, he was trying to expose and trying to bring into the effect the problems and the repercussions what is taking place in society. Thank you very much, sir. Now, since sir has to leave for some other work, as a token of gratitude, of course, I request Magistrate Dr. Mahmood Garu for the sticky comment. A small memento for sir's remembrance of the law college.
President of the session, Dr. D. Radhika Yadav, the Principal, University College of Law, Chief Guest, Professor S.K. Mahmood Sir, Vice Chairman, State Council of Higher Education, Professor P. Vijay Lakshmi, Dean, Faculty of Law, Osmania University and Head, Department of Law, Osmania University, Dr. Aparna, Associate Professor, and among the audience, number of teachers, learned professors, organizer of this event, Dr. R. Ratnakar Rao, the other faculty members, dear students from University College of Law and other affiliated colleges. At the outset, I extend my warm greetings to all of you on the occasion of the Legal Services Day, which commemorates the coming into force of the Legal Services Act 1987 in the year 1995. In fact, holding and commemorating events like this is very much essential in order to understand the roots of this very important socio-economic issue, which is facing number of challenges in our day-to-day life. All of you are law students. You are familiar with the principles of natural justice. You know about adi alteram partem. You say that no person shall be condemned unheard. So when we are talking about legal services which are to be provided to any interested person, we are following this principle of natural justice, the principle of fair hearing. The second important point is that this concept of legal services, which ultimately culminates in the form of legal aid, is not something new. It has been recognized from the time immemorial in every nation, in every legal system, in every religion, including even the Gram Panchayat and Caste Panchayats. You come across the rule that every interested person must be represented by a legally trained person, whether he is formally trained or informally trained. Therefore, what we are celebrating today is nothing but an age-old tradition which requires rejuvenation in modern times. I don't know whether the students of University College of Law have climbed down the stairs from behind. You come across two rooms. Outside the rooms, you come across two boards. One is Free Legal Aid Center. Our old students are smiling. Free Legal Aid Center. One is sponsored by Metropolitan Session Judge. The other one was by Hyderabad District Legal Service Authority. Room number 1 used to host that. Now we also have the Family Counseling Center, the board outside the main entrance. These are some, in fact, simple steps taken by the college in association with the various LSAs, Legal Service Authorities, namely the District Legal Service Authority and the Metropolitan Legal Service Authority. And that imposes an academic social responsibility on the students to expose themselves to the practical aspects and to do their might in spreading legal awareness, in facilitating legal services, not providing. In fact, they are ill-equipped to provide legal services on their own. They have their own limitations being students, but they can work as catalysts. They can coordinate with the concerned legal service authorities, courts, sometimes panel advocates, or civil society organizations. For instance, with regard to environmental protection, one of our famous environmentalists, Professor K. Purushottam Reddy, he encouraged at least 4 or 5 law colleges, including 1 or 2 private law universities, to file PILs through the, in fact, participation of the students to address some of the important issues. All of you are aware, Shreya Singh's case. Today everyone talks about, striking down of Section 66A of the Information Technology Act, which was not noticed by many police till another Supreme Court directive was given. That's a different issue. But who is Shreya Singh? She was a student, law student, like any one of you. So this is your way of providing legal services in a small way. One need not file a public interest litigation. A small advice would do, as simple as that. And as far as the history of legal aid movement or the movement towards providing legal services is concerned, at least in recent times, you can go back to 1850s. As far as India is concerned, we always refer to Justice P.N. Bhagwati and his contribution. And another person by the same name, Justice N.M. Bhagwati in 1950s. We talk about Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer, who emphatically said, providing legal services is not charity. It should not be confined only to the 4 walls of the court. It is an obligation on the part of the state. Framers of the Indian Constitution also recognized the need to provide free legal aid. At the same time, they have not specifically included the same in the Constitution, though they provided under Article 22 right of an arrested person to consult a legal practitioner of his own choice. 39A was missing at that time. Article 39A, which speaks about equal justice and free legal aid, came into our constitution only in 1976 by virtue of 42nd Amendment. Many people are very fond of criticizing emergency of 1975. I always look at the brighter side of emergency. 42nd Amendment has introduced some wonderful changes in the Indian Constitution. That is, constitutionally speaking, one of the important inclusions has been Article 39A, apart from the fundamental duties and many more. And in spite of the Constitution containing or not containing any provision or any obligation which is imposed on the state to provide legal aid or legal services to the needy sections of the society, those who are preparing for civil services, those who have written the general studies mains exam, you would realize that there is a direct question on legal services. Who is entitled to get free legal services? The working of NALSA, National Legal Service Authority, and its effectiveness. I'm saying this because even the lawmakers and those civil servants who are going to run the country, they are supposed to know about the importance of legal services. That is one example. Going back, if you look at the other laws in India, when we look at CPC, everyone knows we talk about indigent suits, indigent appeals, Order 33 and Order 44 respectively. We talk about Section 304 of CRPC 1973, which talks about amicus curiae. Everyone remembers Ajmal Kasab. If you open the internet and ask why should Ajmal Kasab be given legal aid, why is he not hanged immediately, you will find number of wonderful answers. Everyone knows the young man who killed more than 166 people, misguided person, doesn't matter. The entire world saw him using those firearms. In spite of that, he was given legal aid. Maharashtra State Legal Service Authority provided 2 lawyers to fight on behalf of Ajmal Kasab. Supreme Court appointed senior advocate Raju Ramchandran to represent Ajmal Kasab. You have to read the judgment. Of course, it's altogether a different story that the 2 Bombay lawyers who are not paid their fee so far, the State Legal Service Authority says they have not submitted their bills, and Raju Ramchandran, the senior advocate, refused to take any fees. That's a different issue. But the point is, who is entitled to legal aid? Suppose a person has committed a cruel offense, inhuman offense. Is he not entitled to legal aid? There was one case called Vijayawada Manohar's case. The fellow barged into a classroom, hacked a lady student with a knife, killing her on the spot. The State Bar Association, the concerned Bar Association passed a resolution saying that nobody will represent him before the court. But when in fact, the person was not given death sentence, ultimately there was an appeal. The High Court took cognizance of this, saying that however cruel the person may be, however vile, depraved, I am going to refer to one judgment of the Supreme Court, just about 3 or 4 lines. Still, the person is entitled to be represented by a lawyer. Legal services need to be provided. And same is the case with Ajmal Kasab. Justice should not only be done, it must clearly and manifestly appear to have been done. That's what India has shown. That's what Raju Ramchandran said while going to the Supreme Court. After completion of the argument, after the judgment was given by the Supreme Court confirming the death sentence, Raju Ramchandran bowed before the Supreme Court. Not because death sentence was awarded, don't mistake me, but because the kind of opportunity that was given to the accused person to defend himself. So he made a brilliant effort to save him from the gallows. Though many persons said, a senior criminal lawyer said, even 100 Ramjet Malanis wouldn't have saved Kasab from the gallows. Different issue. But as a human being, he was entitled to legal aid. He was given. That brings us to the basic principle that right to free legal aid is a human right. It is recognized as a human right through any number of international instruments, right from the League of Nations, through Universal Declaration of Human Rights, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. You can quote, you can Google, you will find more than 10 or 12 important international conventions which directly or implicitly recognize right to free legal aid as an important human right. That is one important aspect. And another important issue which I want to bring to your notice today on this particular occasion is that in the good old days, in 1950s, the judicial approach was very rigid, very strict. There was one case called Janardhan Reddy versus State of Hyderabad, 1950s. The Supreme Court said that it is for the accused to ask for legal aid, legal assistance. If it doesn't, it need not be provided by the state. Remember, at that time there was no Article 39A. There was no Legal Service Authority Act 1987. But from those days, we have come to 1970s, 1980s. The students of constitutional law refer to at least two cases. One is M.H. Hoskote case. Another one is Subdas case. In both the cases, one was in 1970s, the other one was in 1980s. The court emphatically declared that it is the duty of not only the state, but duty of the judge also to ensure that every person who is charged is represented by a lawyer of his choice, if not a competent lawyer. That is very important aspect. That is the, in fact, moral of the story today. Yesterday I was talking to my good friend Irfan, and somewhere a mention was made by Justice U. Lalit. When you are talking about right to free legal aid, right? Poor getting legal aid, does it mean that the poor person is getting poor aid? Should it be an effective legal aid? It's like right to education. When we talk about right to education, we give statistics. So many people are formally educated. What kind of education is given? Same is the case with free legal aid also. Number of schemes. You have number of developments, entitlements and others. I think Nishit and the other speakers would take care. I don't want to make foray into their domain. But the fact remains that quality of legal aid also is equally important. Right? One of my PhD scholars who submitted PhD on presidential pardoning power, she gave an RTI application inquiring about certain data, and to my utter surprise I found that a person who was facing death penalty was given the assistance of a civil advocate having 7 years who never appeared before a criminal case. Question is, what kind of legal aid or legal assistance do you get? A criminal advocate having sufficient experience can take care of the criminal trial, can effectively protect the rights of the accused or convicted in the case of appeal. But what about a civil advocate? Of course, there is no clear demarcation between civil and criminal, but experience counts. That is missing. Very unfortunately, that is missing. Of course, today you have this defense counsel system, which has been the brainchild of the National Legal Service Authority. We also have, I think, number of defense counsel appointed, directors and deputy directors being appointed. But I am yet to come across any success story as far as the effectiveness of defense counsel system is concerned. It's too early to say. It's hardly, few months old. and maybe, all of you can enroll yourself as part of that system once you get yourself enrolled. Then another important aspect, I will not take much of your time, is that in fact in 2012, a Delhi University professor, in fact National Law University Delhi professor by name J.S. Maan, Jeet Singh Maan, he conducted a wonderful research work, and the research work, I think the entire report is available on the web. Now they have Project 39A. You will get whole lot of information on legal services. And there he found, because that was an empirical study and very comprehensive report, I am just bringing to your notice a few important aspects regarding the availment of legal services which are provided by different legal service authorities, right from the Supreme Court, High Court, national, state and district, right? And it was an empirical study confined only to the Delhi territory, few observations, not many, and of course, one finding was that the beneficiaries approached the free legal aid services due to lack of resources to engage paid private legal practitioners. That's true, because I have been a member of this so-called team. I'm called a non-official visitor to Cherlapalli jail. I keep on going to jail, not as an inmate, as a visitor. I used to take some of the students, Ratnakar knows, during those days, 2004, 5, once or twice we have gone there. There I find a panel of 6 to 7 advocates. And when we ask the jail superintendent as to the availability, they say all the advocates are available, sir. I don't know the impact of availing such counsel. All of them may be good, some of them may be good, but we don't have any official data. Very, very few of them, I think, they are really representing. And the LACs, the Legal Aid Council, associate themselves to the legal aid services for getting experience and employment opportunity. This is a proven fact. Hypothesis was proved. Majority of them. Everyone may not be so passionate about providing free legal aid. Some of them may be really passionate. And I am not undermining their commitment. But most of them, they want to enroll themselves for the purpose of getting some kind of exposure, which might help them in their legal career. So you have, for example, the quality of articulation is just fair. So that needs improvement. The quality of arguments is just average. So these are some of the findings. Things may have improved. I am quoting a data which is almost 12 years old. Now, be that as it may, I may also tell you about the Supreme Court's observation regarding the entitlement to legal aid. It may be in civil cases also. It may be in criminal cases. It may be even in tribunals. Even in tribunals. It may be even in departmental proceedings. Especially when the department is represented by a legally trained person. The delinquent officer also is entitled to get the benefit of the next friend or a legally trained person. In case of crimes, Supreme Court in Muhammad Rafi's case, A.S. Muhammad Rafi versus State of Tamil Nadu, this was a case where there was an attack on some of the police personnel in Tamil Nadu. Then local bar association resolved not to represent the accused person in the court. The matter went up to Supreme Court. Justice Markandeya Kaju, he made the following observations, which are very striking. Of course, he was quoting a judgment of the US Supreme Court. I quote, "Every person, however wicked, depraved, vile, degenerate, perverted, loathsome, execrable, vicious, or repulsive, he may be regarded by society as a right to be defended in a court of law, and correspondingly, it is the duty of the lawyer to defend him." This is a fact. Otherwise, Ram Jethmalani, why was he called devil's advocate? Don't think that only Karan Thapar is called devil's advocate because of his program. Ram Jethmalani. And in fact, in the same judgment, Justice Markandeya Kaju, speaking for himself and another judge, referred to an American lawyer by name Clarence Darrow. And the speciality of Clarence Darrow was that he used to represent only those persons who were wicked and loathsome. In the language which I have used, you can see. And he defended only those people, and ultimately he was known for the attorney for the damned. And he wrote a book also. It's called Attorney for the Damned. So it is the duty of everyone, every advocate, to defend any person who seeks or who is entitled to free legal aid. Then about the qualifications and all, like who should be enrolled, it is not for the Supreme Court to say, but in one particular case decided last year, the Supreme Court made few observations. Anokhi Lal versus State of MP, where the court laid down certain norms. It says that where there is a possibility of life sentence or death sentence, learned advocates who have put in minimum of 10 years experience must be enrolled to defend the persons. In all matters dealt with by the High Court concerning confirmation of death sentence, senior advocates of the court must be engaged. This is to ensure that the quality legal service is extended, not to deprive the budding and in fact dynamic young lawyers who want to represent, but it's a question of life or death. This is one important aspect. Let's remember that even the advocates have a duty to render free legal aid, to take up pro bono work. And if you look at the Bar Council of India rules framed under the Advocates Act, they are clearly mentioned in your professional ethics viva. Some of the examiners might ask you, what are the duties of advocates towards the society? This is the duty towards the society, not only to make money, but also to provide legal awareness, to spread legal awareness, and also to take up pro bono work as and when it is necessary. Now to conclude, I will only say this much. Legal services are not the charge only on the lawyers. Lawyers are an important component. Law students play an important role, but it is for the judges as well, the courts. Sir was mentioning about the inadequate number of judges and inadequate number of courts. Ratio is 1:14. 1 million to 14. That means for 10 lakh people, 14 judges. Maybe it has increased to 18 judges. We need about 50. If that is the case, legal services will be adequately available. So governments also should think about it. It is not an yearly affair where we commemorate the event, remember and write in the exams very well. It must be translated into action. It is also the duty of the senior advocates, also the duty of, for example, when Harish Salve took 1 rupee for arguing the case of whom? Unfortunately, the gentleman died in Pakistan. What's the name of the, one Sardarji who was sentenced to death, and the matter was argued, before the International Court of Justice. Remember? What's the name? Kulbhushan Jadhav case. It is the responsibility of senior advocates like that. And so is the responsibility of the other advocates, the state. I once again, feel that we have rekindled our commitment towards providing free legal aid and free legal services in the years to come, in the days to come, and let us once again commemorate the Legal Services Day. I thank all of you, the learned, respected professors on the dais, off the dais, and all the students present here for a very patient ear. Thank you very much.
Today at the University College of Law, Osmania University, we are celebrating the Legal Services, National Legal Services Day. This day is celebrated every year on 9th November to commemorate the Legal Services Act of 1987. The main purpose of this act is to create awareness among the students and the legal fraternity to provide legal aid as a mandate of Article 39 of the Constitution, to create awareness as well as to provide legal aid to the marginalized and the underprivileged sections of the people. So as a part of that, we are celebrating this day to create awareness among the students, as we all hold a responsibility as a legal fraternity, hold a responsibility towards the society to provide legal aid to the people who are legally illiterate and also marginalized sections of the people. Uh, so it's so to make the a student understand and to take up the responsibility. Of course, we have initiated this program as a part of an awareness uh, kind of an. So this is a full day seminar, and where we have 4 sessions, uh, and among 4 sessions, of course, we have eminent legal professionals, especially the senior professor, Professor G. B. Reddy sir, has taken the first session. Second session is taken up. He's been taken up by the Dr. Ram Prasad, associate professor of the same college, and Dr. Nishit and others who have come from the different law college, private law colleges, as well as we have not only it is confined to only Usmania University students. As a part of our responsibility towards the private affiliated colleges also, we have invited from all the private law colleges two students to come and participate. And of course, we have received a huge response, and all the students from different law colleges of private colleges have come to be a part of this program. Thank you very much.